What's up, guys? So today in the garage I'm gonna be seeing if I can put an aftermarket intake from a 2018 and up Camry with a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder on my Toyota RAV4, which has the same engine. Now I know as far as intakes goes, there's the crowd that thinks they're dumb and they're a waste of money and all that fun stuff, and then there's the crowd that thinks they're the greatest thing ever, and then there's people like me. I don't care either way. I got a good deal on it. It is used slightly. It's in really good shape. I think the car had less than 5,000 miles before they I think it was, they either returned it or something like that. I don't know what happened, but either way, I checked out the intake. It's in really good shape. I got a good deal on it, and since I'm not 100% sure it's gonna fit, I went ahead and bought it because I didn't want to pay full price for one just to find out it didn't fit. Everything I'm looking at seems to indicate it's pretty much the same mounting points and everything else. This video really isn't to talk about the benefits of an intake or any of that stuff. It's just to see if it'll work, and if it does work, if you need to modify anything. So the intake that I'm going to use is made by AEM. This is the part number 21855C. And like I said, it's for the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder Camrys 2018 and up. Like you can see, it's pretty good. I cleaned it up a bit. I went ahead and washed the filter, even though it didn't have a whole lot of miles in it. I have all this stuff to wash it anyways. It is a dry filter, so it doesn't require oiling. This is not going to come assembled, right? Like if you wanted to see the whole assembly piece from like a brand new one, you'll have to kind of watch that video. This is already pre-assembled. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take off this piece. That way, when we put it together, the filter goes in last, right? Everything else is already kind of pre-assembled just because, like I said, I bought it used, right? If you purchase this exact one, it's not going to come assembled this way. You can download the instructions online. It seems pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and remove the factory intake from the RAV. Before we start, we want to make sure there's enough inlets for the hoses. There's the small one, and then this that'll go into the intake, and that's correct. There's 2 of them. Everything else pretty straightforward. There's a clamp back here we're going to remove. I'm going to start off by removing the lid. It's going to be similar steps if you're replacing your original filter. We start off these tabs that are holding the harness for the mass airflow sensor. You simply pull up on them slightly and then pull them out, and they come out. It's pretty straightforward. Like so. Now I can unplug my harness, and then I will take a Phillips screwdriver and remove the mass airflow sensor. With our mass airflow sensor out, it does have an arrow in the direction it needs to go, right? So this is going to go like so, like that. And you do not reuse the screws from your original intake, okay? Usually most aftermarket intakes are going to have their own hardware, and you need to use what's provided just because the threads don't usually match. All right, so that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to go ahead and actually kind of clean the mass airflow sensor just because it's out already. Whenever you're installing anything, don't tighten one bolt at a time, like all the way. Kind of get them started first. So I've gotten this top one started up here. Now I'm putting my second, and that's just because whenever you tighten one, it's going to make it kind of sit in at an angle, and you might cross thread the screws. Okay, so we'll go ahead. Now that this one's in, they're both started, you can go ahead and tighten them. So now that I have my harness removed, I have it safely over here off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and loosen this clamp. Right. Loosen it all the way. And now I can pop these tabs just like I'd be changing my air filter out. Awesome. We can go ahead and remove our old filter. This one is actually still pretty decent shape, because I think I just changed it. That's right. All right. Looks like I have one more push in here on the bottom part of the box for the harness. And then, judging by just the way it's set up, this box should just come out, I think. Yeah, just kind of pressed in there. There we go. The bottom of the box is just kind of pressed in there. Do be careful with this part, right, that travels up. I have my camera on it right now, but our bottom is out. Huh. Looks like it's just held in by rubber pieces. So usually I've seen them to where they're bolted to somewhere, but the bottom of the box is literally just held in by those little rubber grommets. All right, cool. So as far as our hoses go, I'll go ahead and remove this clamp right there. Pull it up. We will pull this out like so, carefully. We will disconnect this hose as well. And now let me get a pair of pliers so we can get to the back clamp. Using my needle nose pliers, I'll reach back here, grab this clamp, and hopefully just pull this intake right out. There we go. And just like that, it comes out. Seeing as there's not much to it, we'll put the base of the new intake on first, and then we'll worry about doing the plumbing. Okay, so I've removed the top portion of my AEM intake. As you can see, there's these little feet. Those go in the grommet, and so we'll go ahead and install it. And keep our fingers crossed that everything lines up. It should, like I said, it doesn't look like it wouldn't. Make sure that the bottom portion of the duct goes into the hole on the bottom part of the intake first, then start pressing the little feet into the grommets, or the little pegs, like that. That one goes in. Guys, this is looking good so far. Easy peasy, look at that. Cool. That was not bad at all. Okay. Looks like that'll be good to go. That'll be good to go. So the bottom portion is in. These bolts here are where the little grommets are at. This duct is connected. And so we can continue with our install. Alright, so I'm going to take the provided part, press it on. Okay, make sure it's nice and flush. Now I'm going to take my hose clamp, and you're going to want to put it somewhere that you can get to the actual, like to tighten it, right? So I think I'm going to put it facing that way, over the top like so. I have to open it up a little bit more. That's all right. Probably should just open it up all the way. Okay. I think I should be able to get to it from there. Let's see. Yeah. This is probably gonna actually be easier with the socket, guys. I'm gonna grab a socket. There we go, a little bit better. Got an 8mm socket on there. Make it a little easier to tighten. Okay, that's pretty snug. You're not cranking down on it, right? Even it's snug, make sure your band, your hose clamp is securely on the hose and it's not on one of the very edge, right? And I think we're good there. All right. Now we'll take our second hose clamp. We'll go ahead and open it all the way. And go ahead and place it on your tubing, right, on the intake duct. We'll replace this through here. And you kind of want a spot where the filter will fit. That's kind of butted up right there. I think right there is where I want to be at. Easy access there. Okay. The good thing is we can come back in here and readjust this fitting if we need to. Now we'll start tightening up my hose clamp. Actually, it's kind of in the way. Probably would be easier to remove this piece, right? But honestly, it's not that big of a deal. It's not enough. Meh, it'll be right. Or even with the ratchet. There we go. Should be able to, yeah. Now you gotta be careful using your ratchet, guys. You don't wanna destroy this hose clamp over tightening it. And you remember, you want it to be snug. You don't have to crank down on it. There we go. That's on there pretty good. We're gonna take our hose clamp. We're gonna slip it on to our plumbing here, our tube, our intake tube. Leave it there. Now let's see if we can get the filter on that way. Go. Cool. All right, we got our filter on. As you can see, the filters come through this rubber grommet here. So now I want to press it, make sure it's flush up on the heat shield. It's on my tube. I'll put my hose clamp on the filter. There we go. And then I'll tighten it. Awesome. That is on there. That is not going anywhere. Awesome. Okay, so now let's put the rest of our hosing on, make sure it reaches. This hose will go here. Might be a little shorter, maybe. I think it'll be all right. Put the clamp on right there. Cool. Don't forget this little hose in the back end now. There. And so now our mass airflow sensor wire, what I'll do is I'm going to run it kind of in between the new intake. And it comes with these little clip-ons, but so now we'll plug our mass airflow intake in sensor. And it looks like we maybe use this part, and now it'll just dangle there, I guess. So now the only thing is the new intake does not have any kind of, like, you don't have any way of holding the mass airflow, the wire in place, but I think it should be okay. It's not gonna get pinched. What I'll do is I'm gonna run a zip tie here, so it's not gonna strain my intake, my sensor there. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll go ahead and like so. And so what that's gonna do is it's not gonna let this dangle here at the connection point. It's gonna, you don't have to crank down on it. It'll be okay like that. All right, now that all that's hooked up, all I have left is to put on the last heat shield. Honestly, I'm sure you could probably run it like that if you really wanted to, but seeing as that they took the time to provide another heat shield for us, we'll go ahead and use it. Plus, it looks kind of cool. Okay. And hopefully it fits. Oh yeah, it will. Oh, okay, yeah, sweet. Like that. Go ahead and get one of my screws and get started. Cool little trick, guys. If you ever get to where you can't see very well, turn your camera on your phone on to like selfie mode and kind of use it to see if the holes are lining up or not. You can see there, pretty close. Okay, getting close. There it is. Cool. Again, these are snug, guys. You're not cranking down on them. There really is no need to. I'll snip the end off of that. Money. Got a storm coming in, so a little bit less lighting, but there you go, guys. Pretty much the AEM intake for a 2018 Camry on my Toyota RAV4. No modifications needed. Pretty straightforward install. Took me less than maybe like 30 minutes, and that's that I'm trying to record at the same time. Double checking everything, and we'll get an audio file, or we'll get a startup so you guys can hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, so that kind of concludes this video. Went way smoother than I thought. No modifications needed, right? Sounds good. If you've ever had an intake, you know what that sounds like. You can kind of hear the air getting sucked into the engine a little bit more. If you never had one, a little bit noisier, right? So obviously, if you're trying to keep your RAV4 quiet, probably not the best thing to do. But it is what it is. If you work at AEM and you're watching this video, I'm a size large shirt. You can go ahead and add 19 RAVs and up to the vehicle list under this specific intake. And so that kind of wraps up this video. Appreciate you guys watching as always. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments. Reach out. I'm more active on Instagram. I have my Instagram tagged as well on this channel. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Appreciate it, guys. Take it easy.